from gang-controlled streets
to one of the safest countries on Earth, from secret societies and violent riots to a place where people leave their laptops unattended in public. Today, it's ranked among the safest nations in the world. Women walk alone at midnight. Children take public transport without fear. Expensive phones are left on cafe tables to reserve seats, and no one steals them. They even have a word for it: chope. But this wasn't accidental. Singapore wasn't always clean. It wasn't always disciplined. In the 1950s and 60s, gangs were powerful. Communal violence erupted. Drugs moved through the streets. Organized crime thrived. So, how did this small island with no natural resources, no oil, no gold, no strategic depth, transform into one of the most secure societies on the planet? Was it fear? Was it law? Was it technology? Or was it something deeper? A decision to make discipline non-negotiable? Because Singapore didn't just reduce crime, it re-engineered behavior. And the world still debates the cost. Singapore wasn't always clean, it wasn't always safe, and it definitely wasn't always peaceful. There was a time when people locked their doors before sunset, a time when gangs ruled entire neighborhoods, a time when riots turned streets into battlegrounds. In the 1950s and early 60s, Singapore was unstable. Secret societies operated in plain sight. Drug trafficking networks spread through ports. Organized crime thrived in crowded alleys. Unemployment was high. Housing was overcrowded. Trust in safety was almost gone. Then came 1965, a tiny island. No oil, no natural resources, no powerful army. Only one terrifying question: how does a small, vulnerable nation survive? The answer shocked the world. Not freedom first, not comfort first, order first, strict order, guaranteed order, enforced order. And that decision would transform Singapore from chaos into one of the safest countries on Earth. But to understand how it happened, we need to look at the laws that changed everything and the price people paid for safety. Singapore introduced strict laws that shocked much of the world. One of the most controversial was preventive detention. Under the Internal Security Act, authorities could detain individuals without trial if they were seen as threats to national security. The message was clear: stability would not wait for slow legal processes. Then came strict criminal penalties. Drug trafficking, mandatory long prison sentences. In severe cases, capital punishment. Vandalism, heavy fines. Possible caning. Violent crimes, swift prosecution. Caning became one of the most internationally discussed punishments. It is a controlled corporal punishment carried out under strict medical supervision. Supporters argue it creates powerful deterrence. Critics argue it is harsh. But here's what matters: the certainty of punishment became more important than the severity. In Singapore, enforcement is predictable. If you break certain laws, consequences follow. No ambiguity, no negotiation. Even minor infractions, littering, public vandalism, drug use, carry clear penalties. Over time, something psychological happened. Crime didn't just decrease. It became socially irrational because risk became too high and enforcement became guaranteed. Safety isn't maintained by police alone, it's cultural. In Singapore, discipline is normalized early. Public spaces are clean because fines for littering are real. Public housing is structured to prevent segregation. Urban planning reduces dark, isolated spaces. Police visibility is consistent but not aggressive. Emergency response times are fast. There's a strong belief that rules protect everyone, not just control them. The result? You see chope culture, a tissue packet on a table, a laptop left charging, a handbag resting on a chair, no one watching, because theft feels abnormal, suspicious, out of place, and when crime feels abnormal, it becomes rare. Now, here's where it gets modern. Singapore didn't stop at strict laws. It integrated technology. Thousands of surveillance cameras operate across the city, many powered by AI systems capable of detecting unusual behavior. Facial recognition tools assist investigations. Smart lampposts collect environmental and movement data. Police use predictive analytics to allocate patrol resources efficiently. Emergency systems are digitally integrated. In many residential areas, police cameras monitor public spaces continuously. Authorities can reconstruct movement patterns quickly, and response times are often measured in minutes. There are also rapid report systems for harassment or threats. Public transport stations have direct emergency alert features. The philosophy is simple: prevention over reaction. If a potential threat is detected early, escalation is avoided. Technology reduces blind spots. And when people know they are likely being recorded, behavior changes. Again, certainty, not randomness. One of the most cited aspects of Singapore's safety reputation is female security. Women frequently report feeling safe walking at night. Public transport is heavily monitored. There are specialized police units trained for sexual crime cases. Fast reporting systems increase confidence in enforcement. Is crime zero? No. No country achieves that. But the perception of safety is strong, and perception shapes behavior. When people believe law enforcement works, they act differently. So, what's the secret? It wasn't just punishment, it wasn't just technology, it was consistency. Singapore made a decision decades ago. Discipline would not depend on mood. Law enforcement would not fluctuate. Rules would apply, predictably. But this model also sparks debate. How much surveillance is too much? How strict is too strict? Is safety worth reduced tolerance for disorder? Different societies answer differently. Singapore chose certainty, and that choice reshaped everything, from gang-infested streets to a country where a laptop can sit alone in public, untouched, because discipline became not a suggestion, but a system. Now, here's the real question. Could this model work everywhere? Or does safety at this level require sacrifices most societies wouldn't accept? If you want a deep dive into the hidden psychological cost of extreme public discipline, comment Part 2, The Price of Safety. D.